Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cactus Patch. I'm your host, Glitch Cactus, and today we have a very exciting episode for you all. Today, we're going to be speaking with the winners of Gridlock 2024 Bare Minimum. Guys, feel free to take it away, introduce yourselves so people know who you are.
Hello everyone, I'm Birch, and yeah, I was the pencil player for our team Bare Minimum at Gridlock.
And try.
And try, you're right.
I'm keen. I stream maybe once a month whenever work lets me, which is not very often these days. I occasionally upload on YouTube, and I'm a flex player, but I played Spotter Shot for this event.
Hey everyone, I'm Thunder. I played 52 for basically the entire tournament. Just as usually a support shooter.
Right. Well, I am Henlo. I am the wiper guy. The guy who was basically wearing a safari hat the entire time during Gridlock. That's actually kind of it. It's just the wiper guy. You guys know me.
The best fashion statement of the whole event.
Probably, maybe, I don't know.
That's right. This is Bare Minimum. You guys secured the bag, took home the W. But before we get to talking about what it was like to win it, let's start off from, I guess, a little bit of the beginning, right? How did this pickup form?
Well, actually, it started Henlo and I looking for two people, and I think we found Keen. I don't think it was me. I think it was Henlo who contacted Keen because I
No,
think
no. I mean,
correct
it's
me.
just that, like, you and I, we have been, playing for a while together. So we were like, oh my god, Gridlock's coming. Just like last year, we,
Right.
participated on it together with Sonder, but unfortunately, Sonder is, rest in peace, right now, no longer playing together. So I had to look for some people. I have been playing with Keen a couple of times on some sets with other people, and I thought they were pretty good. And they were also looking to, get someone else. So for Gridlock, which is why we DM'd them. Then afterwards, also saw Thunder on that, and Thunder joined. That's pretty much it. Like it's like basically a pickup at its heart for the most part.
Yeah, I got you.
We did fight one another last year, though, since you guys got first, and I was in a different pickup last year, and we got second.
That's right.
We did play.
That's
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter who was going to Gridlock, and then Henlo saw the tweet and DM me, and then I was like, sure.
Sure, why not?
Accepted the first team offer, yeah.
Hey, that's sometimes how it works, right? The first offer that comes to the table, if it looks enticing enough, you run with it, and it obviously it proved to work very well.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
So how much practice did you guys get in? Like, was it like a super late pickup? Like you like formed like a month before the event, or like did you have some time to, like, practice here and there?
I think we had plenty. We had a good chunk of time. We got a good amount of practice in because we had to figure out like our comps.
Mm-hmm.
We played a good amount.
We
I think for like
played-
a solid we formed I guess 2 months before, but we didn't play for like a month, and then like a few weeks before the LAN, we locked in. Started
Right.
playing like every day.
I think it was around the time that they dropped the map list for Gridlock that we actually started playing, because it was like we were all there, but it was more just like we would play like maybe now and again, like a couple times before that, but it was really just like once the map list dropped, it's like, okay, now we actually know what we have to get better at.
Yeah,
So
that
from
makes
that
exactly.
point, it felt like we were scrimming, if not daily, like every other day-ish, for maybe the week or two leading up to it at least.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And scrim by scrim, we switched up our comps, tried to feel out what the best options were.
Yeah.
So it was good that
And
we had
even
that
if all four, even if all four of us wasn't on too, I would like take whoever was on and like bring them into scrims too. Play
Yeah,
as much
right.
as we could.
A lot of individual practice, even if it wasn't necessarily all four.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, good to keep the mechanics warm, right? Especially with this big event coming up, pretty much like the East Coast major, and if you're not counting Riptide, NYC's first real major since last year. You know, as much practice you can get counts, especially when you're trying to work out comps. So you mentioned someone mentioned scrims mainly. So was that mainly the form of practice, or was there like some sendo queue involved, or was it just like, and like just vibing and open until the map lists were coming out? Was it just like pure like scrim?
It was basically just scrims.
I
Like,
mean,
especially for like the map, to try to play the map list,
Mhm.
especially.
Got you.
And I would like ask people to get get pickups to play us, and then so we could practice the map list more. Those kind
Yeah.
of things.
Because the thing about Sendoku is that's a mix of not only your own maps chosen, like if we hypothetically wanted to pick just Gridlock maps, we could, but it doesn't take into account the opponent's maps. So it's much easier in a scrim environment to say, hey, like specifically we have like this picture, we're gonna practice like these maps, and even if our opponent didn't necessarily play us on every map on that, but the majority of maps would, be actual practice as opposed to things we don't necessarily need to know or worry about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well, we did play Sendoku though. Like we did a couple sets.
A
That's
few
like
times, yeah.
definitely a place where I feel like
Well, I mean,
we
I
didn't
imagine,
really
like,
play any
prior
tournaments.
to the map list, though, right? Like, just to kind of get the vibes.
I think when scrims were
Yes.
really dead, we like resorted to Sendoku because in the modern world of Sendoku dominating the whole I don't know, competitive environment, it
Mhm.
was pretty important for us to actually find the scrim. So I think when we
But
Oh,
Cut out mid sentence. I don't know.
yeah, you cut out
Seems like
version.
it.
I don't know
wait,
what
when we
version that was.
when we couldn't find a skirm, we played Sendoku.
Yeah,
Valid,
because
valid.
Fair enough. Well, yeah,
basically, I
guess.
do have inconsistent work hours, and I do close a fair amount of time. And when that
Mhm.
happens, I don't tend to get home until maybe like 10 p.m. EST. So around that time, it's kind of difficult to find scrim. So
Yeah, I get that.
if we wanted to play and nothing was really there, no one was really responding, it was kind of like, okay, we can do like a Sendoku or two.
Yeah, that's fair, and that makes sense. Honestly, again, like I mentioned before, like any practice that is good practice, as long as you're able to start building up that communication, the synergy, things like that. Especially with like the time slots you're given with obviously IRL stuff not getting in the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, so this one's kind of a little bit of a goofy question. Who traveled the furthest? Who had to take the furthest, like, plane, car, you name
Bruh.
it, to the event?
Yeah.
I mean,
What was it? Was it Hemla? Weren't
Yeah,
you?
Hemla.
yes, because you all live over there. Well, Thunder, I know you're in Virginia, but like it's still like, I mean, how long was your car drive? Was it like 10
It was
10
like
hours, I think?
8 hours.
Right. I mean, I guess technically my flight was like shorter, but like
Distance wise.
distance from Florida,
Distance.
it's way worse.
Yeah.
Like Birch and Keene, they literally live right there, so
So traveling,
that's
yeah.
not a
So y'all are
question.
traveling the east. Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Yes.
actually know between us who travels less. I almost want to say it's Birch. Like, how long did it take you to get there?
It's like
Do you think?
it's like a 30-minute ride into Grand Central, and
Okay.
then 30 minutes into like taking the I think it was like connecting with
Yeah,
the Brooklyn line or whatever onto the
I'd
L. Yeah,
say
it was like an hour total. It was really doable.
that's slightly shorter than me. I'd estimate mine's closer to maybe an hour and a half, but I'm still
Right.
basically right there. It's not like I'm going too far.
Mhm.
Yeah, makes sense. So I guess for those that don't live in NYC and had to come over, what was the stay like? How did you enjoy New York City? If you maybe were here before, what was different this time? If you first time here, what was it like?
Definitely my first time in New York because Hemla played there at Gridlock last year. I
Mhm.
wasn't even there. This was my first time, and like going from like where I am to like New York, like it was kind of it was a culture shock kind of. Like I'm
It's
not
a
like
lot,
walked
yeah.
into the subway for the first time, like I'm burning up. I don't know how they do that. Like driving through the streets was like atrocious. Like aggressive Uber drivers. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, it's pretty bad.
I mean, for me, yeah, I'm like basically from Florida, and I've kind of, I kind of been lucky to put it that way that every single time I come to New York, it's basically the exact same weather that we have over there, where it's like 80 degrees for the most
Yeah.
part. Um, I've been to New York before. I did play Gridlock last year, but even with that, I've still been here with family, both in the city and upstate. I think it's honestly like I know that everyone calls it ugly and it technically is, but I still think that New York City has its charm.
Mhm.
It's like ugly, but in like a I don't know. It's just very charming. I really always have fun whenever I go to the city, and honestly, like the subway is basically any like Florida environment, like temperature wise. I really did not care. Everyone else around me cared. I did not care.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
It's a very fast-paced lifestyle, so if you're not accustomed to that at all, I think that's what really gets people. Because even disregarding the land, just people I talk to in general that tend to say like, "Oh, I'm visiting here." I feel like that's one of the first things they say is like, "Oh, damn, like y'all like are so fast about everything." It just like very, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that, as opposed to just like a very like laid back sort of take your time. Like that's not here. You do not get that.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming, right? Especially if you're used to like I know there's some players that come from very like quiet urban areas where there's not much going on, and then you
Yeah,
get
that's
into
not
New
here.
York, it's like whoa, like
That's 180.
in a whole new
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, that was actually my situation there.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't. So you only prepare so much, you know. It's just like once you're there, it's just like you just gotta run it. So besides Gridlock, what are some of the things that you guys did while here for the event? Like outside of obviously Splatoon, like did you guys like try any new foods places? Of course, probably maybe hit up Times Square.
So my first day there, like it was my first time in New York. So first thing we did was go to see the Statue of Liberty, took the ferry there, took the ferry back, and then after we played day one, like I went immediately back to the hotel to like change and stuff, and then went to Times Square like right after. And I didn't get home until like 12 a.m. It was just out
Damn.
at Times Square walking around like trying stuff. It was
That's
crazy.
dope.
And then went to sleep, woke up for day two. I slept until like 10, 11 a.m.
I
I
guess
never sleep in that late.
Yes, swept day one, so you had the time to kill.
Yep. We did have
But we did
the
have the
furthest
latest Gridlock.
the latest wave, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started at 6:40.
Oh my gosh.
6:40 p.m. So like, yeah.
Yeah, that's plenty of time to do like literally anything and everything else.
I mean, same actually, because for me, I actually arrived a bit earlier. I came here. My plane, was on Thursday, so I basically had most of Thursday and Friday to do stuff before, um, the event happened. I forgot to mention this too, but I actually stayed over at Birch's house,
That's pretty
like for
based.
the entirety of it. Basically, it was really nice. I enjoyed it, and yeah, we ended up going, like all around the city. We went to Grand Central, quite a lot, and it was like I know it's basically just central, but there was like a lot of places, and little stores that we haven't really seen before, at least for me. I've already seen the Statue of Liberty before, first time I got here, and a lot of other places like the Empire State. But we did go to Central Park, like almost like we like how much did we see first? It was like half the entire park. I think we walked. It was like a lot.
Yeah, that was incredibly tiring. It was Friday, I think, before the tournament. And yeah, we
Yes.
did a lot of walking that day, but it was a really fun time.
No, yeah. We also ate a lot of Asian food now that I just realized. And oh
Yeah,
my
we
god,
did.
it was so good. Oh my god. I think it was like the best sushi I ever had. I forgot the place's name, but it was so good.
Oh yeah, that was really good. I have
And
to remember the
the Korean
restaurant
chicken
name as well.
too. Oh my
Yeah, oh
god.
that's right. Yeah, we hit Koreatown. Yeah, we did a lot of fun like meal time things.
I didn't know that that the Empire State was so close to Koreatown. I'm not gonna lie, because we were just like walking. We were following someone else because they were like deciding where to go, and out of nowhere I just see the Empire State in front of me. Okay, oh, okay, I guess this is just here now. It was really funny, but yeah,
Empire State Building jump scare.
exactly.
That's dope though. It's cool to like be able to experience those new things, especially because like I feel like New York just has so much to offer if you know where to look, right? And obviously you have like the
Mm.
basics, you know what I mean? But it's always like the hidden gems that you're able to find that make you just go like, wow, like I did not know this was here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go to the city all the time. I live so close to it, as I said before. But every time I go there, there's something new that happens. There's something, a new experience that I can go home and tell my family and friends about and be like, hey,
Yeah.
next time we hit the city, we gotta go here or there or whatever.
My favorite is like whenever I would travel, even like besides like the Metro Inc events, I always were able to find these like really like weird niche like trading card and like old video game shops, and it's just like I swear every time a new one would pop up and I'd never been to, and it's just so cool seeing how each of them have their own unique style too. Because like yeah, they all sell probably the similar things, but it's just the way they set up their building. It's so cool. It's just so unique.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's cute.
For me, I also live fairly close to the city, so I've been there quite a few times. I've also been to the venue that Brookline is. I've lost track. I mean, not a ridiculous amount of times, but probably 4 or 5, somewhere in that range. So I feel like in terms of the individual visit this year, it was less about location or anywhere I went because it was pretty direct for me in terms of traveling.
Yeah.
Not much on the way in between, but of note for me is that I got to meet Nolan, who was on the other team in person for the first time, and we sort of traveled together on the way there and the way back on both days. So I think that was sort of one of the highlights for me.
Oh yeah, so that's all. Did you guys ever like run into any like other like players that you knew like outside of the venue? Out of curiosity.
No.
I actually didn't. No.
Yeah, I was surprised not that we didn't actually, because last year I think
Right.
I did a few times.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Actually, Cactus, I don't think any of us have mentioned this to you before, but last year we tried to go to Times Square for the Blue Pro Char thing, and I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure we saw you guys over there.
I keep forgetting about Blue
Wait,
Chara.
Henlo, are you neglecting to say that I was the only one who was there? Henlo told me a
Okay,
time,
well, we still
and
got there,
we
and they
met
were
up,
still there. Yeah, I
and he
missed
was
it.
too
I
late, and
missed
I was like,
it.
bro, you missed it.
Yeah, no, I missed it because it was a train's fault actually. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it wasn't even my fault for being
I'm
late. It
not
was the train actually got
John's.
delayed. But oh well.
Actually, I did run into other players. I was like in the hotel lobby eating breakfast, and like I just heard like a group talking behind me about their wave for day one, and I was like, oh. I was just there downing like 3 strawberry yogurts, and then they're just like talking about it.
That's I figured out
I
that's
definitely
because
didn't
this was like
turn
the
around and tell them.
largest Metro Inc. event, right? There's like almost it was like it was almost 200 plus people that were there. So I um figure out see if any of you ran into anybody. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, the group photo took up like half the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
for
of Troutman was just covered by the Splatoon players. It's
for
great.
perspective, the attendance disparity from last year, it rose so much that last year the group photo was inside and it took up, around the main stage area. It pretty much took the length of the venue, just like fairly lengthy, but we did not have to go outside like this year. This year we physically would not have the space to have everyone, so it's kind of funny to have everyone go outside and then cross the street and you have the people walking by being like, what is going on? Seeing like 100 plus people taking a photo.
It's so funny too because the outside, like the venue itself, looks kind of small because you don't see how far back it goes. So it's probably like one of those like clown car situations. Like, how are all these people fitting in this tiny building?
Yeah, you just assume it's like a little bar and then
Yeah.
well over 100 people come by.
That was a cool group photo though. I can't believe how many people were actually there. Like that was insane.
Yeah, it was cute. We
Yeah,
didn't
I
do
had
that
to get
last
to the
year.
front.
Yeah, we didn't. It was inside.
Yeah, the
Remember?
No, we
photos just
did, but
inside
like
last
not
year.
not in the outside with everyone, like that many people, I feel
Mhm.
like,
Right. I think the lands are just getting bigger in general because LTC had like the biggest one, and then Riptide just passed like most attendees. So it's like the biggest Riptide in history,
Yeah, they're
their
like
history,
300 plus now,
and
I
then
think.
Gridlock. It just yeah. And I'm not even like signed up yet. Me and my team isn't. There's a lot of people who are still going that isn't like signed up yet. So it's like huge. I think lands in general are getting like more people, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we're finally seeing the growth that the community's been like like thriving for, right? I mean, this is like insane that every land we have we're breaking numbers one way or another, whether that's, teams entering, spectators, overall attendees. I mean, it's truly amazing. I think with LTC ended up having like almost one player from like every state, I think, which was really cool to see. Like it's amazing to see like all these players that are coming around just to watch this game be played in person.
I think it's a great thing, especially because we're approaching what now, like the second anniversary of the game, give or take. And a lot of the time it'll be like a game comes out, it's new. is really popular for a period and sort of has like drops. I feel like it's like the opposite. Like even though the game's like older and like updates are like slowing down, it's like the lands get bigger and bigger. Because I think about last year compared to this year, I'm like, wow, there's so many more people. Like we had the latest wave, so being there all day, waiting for that. I'm like, wow, there are so many people. Like, don't get me wrong, there were people there last year, but you could definitely tell and sort of like feel it,
Yeah.
especially with that group photo in particular puts it in perspective.
Yeah, I'm sure like if I probably could find it, but I'm sure that would post like if you compare them like next to each other, it had to be double in size, like the amount of people that were there for that, which is crazy because considering the timing thing too, like most of like the other brackets had ended, and it's just really championship bracket, but the amount of people that still stayed to watch the event was insane.
Yeah. Indeed, it was. Yes.
So were there any teams that you guys maybe worried about or knew would be a little bit of a challenge heading into this event?
1,000%.
Always
Oh,
gotta
they
ask
could
that
tell
one.
you like they could. I'm pretty sure my team could tell you like I was too locked in. I already knew like as soon as they like finalized the roster, it was Max, Nolan, Shadowwind, and Hunty. Like I was just thinking about that like all the time when we were practicing. Like, oh, we're gonna have to deal with the 96 here maybe, and like yeah, definitely prepared in mind knowing that we'd play them in grands for sure.
To put it into perspective, a lot of the figuring out comp, particularly for me, because I flex, so I can kind of play whatever is cool and I think is appropriate for a comp, and that I can like practice within reason. I think I had the most amount of shifts on weapons. Like the Thunder played 52, and like Shot was trying to figure out between them. But for me, it was more like, oh, I could do this or that or this or that. But when they finalized their roster and we actually knew who was playing, it sort of became a game of like, oh, okay, we know they play these weapons, so it's we're gonna fight like 96 or like maybe Squeezer, and then Shadow does Pencil or Zap or 10. So it's pretty much try and figure out our comp from that point based on that, and Max plays Bucket, and all of that had a huge impact. Pretty much the entire impact of the kind of comp we wanted to play.
We had Keen on. What was it? When we first played for like the first time, you were on decav. Then there was like
Yeah.
double
That
sword,
was like
and
day
then
one
there
because
was
the weapon
10.
was new. I feel like for a period it was also like Machine, but
Yeah, we had
Oh
one
yeah,
Stamper,
machine.
and then
Machine.
I feel like as time went by, it's like, okay, we want more paint. And then there was that point where I played
Splash.
Splash, but then I played Splash, and it's like we don't really have lethal bombs, and that's a problem because Splash is also going to suffer against Kraken and 96 and all that. So it's like, okay, so where do we go from there? We kind of ended up finally on a Spotter Shot being a mix of, the weapon that can fight, it can paint quite a lot, and it has lethal bombs to sort of keep those things in check. And, have a decent amount of experience on Zuka. I understand the idea of how to use Triple Strike. I played a lot of T-Tech in that tournament, but realistically I have very little playtime on that weapon. But it's fundamentally it's a spotter shot. We got it down as we played.
Mm-hmm.
But like every time we played, we had a different comp.
Yeah,
Like
for
literally every time we were just really experimenting and
Okay,
trying like what was actually gonna work.
There was also that early period because the weapon I play the most in S3 is Stamper, but we were just not really succeeding with Wiper plus Stamper. I think the hardest part was, retakes because you're trying to get back in with Hammer, Zipcaster, Cooler. So it felt like if you didn't just straight up get picks, it just
Yeah.
felt impossible sometimes, which wasn't a good feeling.
Well, yeah, I also think in our first scrim we had Hello and Slosher, so like we
Oh,
did a
yeah,
lot of
Saw
changes.
Stamper.
Yeah, but as soon as we like figured out that we were going against, who we were going against, I think like I mean I was usually settled on. I mean I was always playing Cooler, so I was always on Pencil. I was always teasing Thunder about letting me go try. I wound up actually using it in grand finals, but yeah, I was relatively stable, but Keen was the kind of the wild card pick in terms of weapons. So I think after we knew that we were facing 96 with the wall, especially, uh, Splatter Shot with Suction Bomb was a really nice counter to that.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part about having a player on your team that can flex to so many different options is that you really throw the other teams off, right? You throw them through a loop. It's like they have to guess so much about what your comp is going to be, especially how it could change so much. And if they were watching you play your group stages, it's like depending obviously on the team, if how try hard you're going, it's gonna throw a lot of options in the air, and it's just like, all right, we gotta try to figure this out as we go. Where you guys kind of knew what that Moonlight pickup was gonna go from the get go for the most part, so you were able to prepare a lot more in a sense, and a little bit, I wouldn't say easier, but smoother ride when it came to trying to figure out.
For sure. Yeah, we did our homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did our homework
Yeah,
and had
definitely.
goal in mind
Thunder
of
did
like,
our homework
okay,
for us.
how do we fight weapons A, B, C, and D, and like maybe these two others possibly, but most likely just you know
It
cement.
did feel like every time we scrimmed, someone on the other team was streaming though. There's no way that I feel like they definitely saw one of those.
Yeah,
'Cause
for sure.
we
It's like,
played Chara a lot too, and like Chara's like coaching Moonlight, so
Mhm.
like
Yeah, so the
pretty
inside
sure he might
info
have
is
let
there.
them know
Yeah.
like
they definitely had some insight at some point. I'd be extremely surprised if they weren't like keeping an eye on us as well. I mean, that's how it goes in tournaments, and especially lands, because when you're
Yeah.
worried about specific opponents, it's like, okay, let's take a look at what they're doing. If that's made
Yeah.
publicly available at all, which it definitely was.
Eavesdrop.
We scrimmed a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. So thoughts on the venue as a whole? I know obviously three of you have been here before. Thunders was your first time. So overall thoughts on the venue for this first Splatoon, right? I mean, obviously like the larger we're getting, the venue size is gonna come into a tricky situation. But overall, how did it feel? How was the experience?
I've been to total of two lands in my like whole career, and the first one was the Nintendo land.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was like everything that happened at that one was like set the basis of like what I expected. But the crowd was like much louder than like the one at the Nintendo one. I walked in for the first time. There's just a bar right there, and I was like it looked kind of small because it was just like the street was closed, and I just kind of like walked into like some random like place on the street, and I didn't even like know how big it would be. I was like, where's everyone playing? But like, yeah, I mean, it surprised me. I didn't even think that many people could fit in there. It looked kind of small until like you walk through the hallway to the back, and there's like a whole big like stage, everything. It was like definitely different. I didn't expect like the bar, like a whole like ordering system, and people sitting in front of the stage with like the little what's it? What they have?
The hand
Was it like
clappers.
cards?
Yeah, they have
It was like to like wait for an order. What were
when
those
you
called?
when
Oh,
you
oh
when you
yeah,
order
yeah. Those
something,
little
there's like a
food
little
order
metal
stands.
metal bar basically, and it has like a number like 1 to 10 or something in that range, and they all have their own like little aesthetics. Like there's one with a Pokemon card, and then you flip it the other way, it's another Pokemon card. But basically, they have numbers written on them. So whenever you order food and you're waiting, someone will like come to the back, give you your order, take the number, and repeat.
And they just had like a bunch of monitors around the state by this like in front of the stage too, and it's just a bunch of people playing Splatfest, like while all the land games being played too. Yeah, definitely unique. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, same with me actually, because the thing is, I've been to 3 lands with this one, but the 2 of them, were basic Gridlock, the same venue, same stuff. I think it's very cozy. I will say that at the Kalahari, because that was LTC last year,
Mhm.
they kind of gave us a very small room. I know that Smash is way it's bigger
Yeah.
than Splatoon, and it makes sense. But I also like heard that they gave us a way better room this year at LTC, but last year was kind of cramped everything. It was still nice, but also the fact that we were still a bit, with COVID around, we had to wear masks and everything. It felt a bit worse than probably this land. Probably, I also appreciate the fact that like they kind of made space for everyone in a way. Like there were like enough chairs for everyone to sit down. And even if there wasn't, you could still like find ways for you to just be around. Especially because there were a lot of more TVs this year set up for you to just watch the game
Yes.
no matter where you were. The little tables outside of the venue were also nice if you were gonna go somewhere and eat. But like we actually stayed there like quite a bit because we would just go outside to eat, try to the pizza that's around the corner, which is really good by the way. But yeah, no, I like the location. It's really cozy. I appreciate the work that goes into making it feel cozy and like welcoming if you're playing and spectating overall. So that's nice.
I greatly appreciate the air conditioning because having
Same.
hundreds of people
Yeah.
in one space, you would think it'd be ridiculously humid, but it's absolutely not. It's incredibly comfortable despite it being summer inside. I do like the mix that they have for basically the main stage is sort of like that stream setup, but they do have free play in that bigger room. They have one side of the wall in that side room for also free play. So, even if you came to the event, you just wanted to like hang out or vibe or whatever, and you weren't necessarily like going into deep bracket or anything like that, or even participating in the tournament, there was stuff for you, which is important because if it was only like, oh, you can only play if you're in the tournament, this is that, I think that like detracts from it. But I think they do a really good job of taking that limited space and making it accommodating for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm glad that it's universally agreed that the venue, they did the best with what they had, and they really hit the nail on the head with it. Especially, I really like what you said, Keen, about the air conditioning, because every time you go to a land that's like a lot larger of a room, there's like no air. It's like a giant fan, and everybody's sweating, just trying to enjoy the game. But with with this building, it actually, there was actually AC. It actually worked, and people didn't have to feel uncomfortable and try to have to like go like outside. And I mean, for the most part, I think the food wasn't overpriced. I don't know. I didn't really buy anything there, but it was pretty dope.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing that's also nice about the venues. They do have the food in there if you don't necessarily want to leave, and if anything there isn't necessarily what you want. Again, there is that pizza place down the street. I did go down the street around the corner. There's a place with really good Asian food I went to last year as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff within walking distance for whatever you need. It's like we got pizza. Someone else can go somewhere else. You can go to like little supermarkets, get drinks, whatever. It's all very reasonable walking distance if you ever need to like hop out or just get anything. Also for the AC, yeah, it's I work in air conditioning all day whenever I'm inside, so I'm like super used to that. So it's really nice having the LAN with that. I mean, even then on day one and day two when I was actually in the venue, I had a sweater on because it's like that well air conditioned.
Yeah, sometimes like I would just be like, man, I'm cold. Like my hands are freezing. Just like shivering.
Yeah,
He
usually
was like,
that's
oh, that's why
rare
I brought a
too.
sweater.
Yeah, they did last year as well.
Yeah, it's so rare. Like I've been to like a good handful of lands, and like again, most of the majors don't have that kind of air in there unless it's like you're hoping for like obviously Riptide closer to the winter time in a sense where it might be a little bit chillier, but that's on the outside. And inside we have so many people just talking. It's the warm air just fills up the room so quickly. So it was a nice change of pace. It was a nice change of comfortability overall.
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the matches. So, first question I have going into this is day one, you don't drop a single game. You ride this momentum into day two up until Grands, right before Grands. What are the vibes like? What are you feeling?
Mm, the vibes. Well, I was confident for sure. Well, I was confident like going up and like winning in winners finals.
Mhm.
And of course after winners finals, we're even more confident. Like, okay, yeah, we can take them in grands and everything. But it was just confidence, and then like the little introductions and everything was really cool. Liked how things were looking to start.
Didn't
Yeah, I was hyped. I was hyped too.
Thunder, didn't you say before you actually played day one, you're a little bit nervous because again that land
Yeah,
environment
I
was kind of
was.
new for you, but then after we swept day one and like did like the first maybe like two-ish matches, and we played the first like because we weren't on stream day one, notably,
We
and like
didn't.
we kind of wanted to be on stream day one, but I feel like for me at least most nervous I played wasn't even like grands necessarily. It was actually the first out that we played on the stream day two because we had it yet to be up there, and obviously it's more of a
Same.
you're up there, everyone's looking at you. It's a different environment than just kind
No,
of playing in the
yeah,
side room
Yeah.
for sure. So
I
for me, I was
agree.
playing very nervous that set. Like we won that zone, it looked like convincing or whatever. But like realistically, I'm just like, dang, I'm spaghettiing a lot of stuff and just like very shaky. But by the time we got to was it semis or winners finals, then we kind of like or at least for me, I got more used to it. And then we 3-0'd in Winners Finals. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, we got this. Like, we can definitely do this. It is like completely in our ability to like close this out.
Mhm. Yeah, day one, I was nervous day one before going in because like literally we had a wave at 6:40, so it was like the whole day. I'm like I am out like actually enjoying the city and stuff, but it's like man, I have a set to play later.
Yeah,
Sets to play.
you don't want to be tired by that point because you've done so much already.
And after like we finished day one, like I know like later at night I was like just talking in the group chat like, hey man, I'm confident about this. We got this. A lot of that.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, for me, it's basically the same as Keen, actually, because the thing is, we did not get streamed at all day one, even though I thought that we all were, warranted at least one streamed match, I guess. But I don't really know how people decide, how the TOs decide upon that. But because of that, I was kind of nervous because I was like hoping to get a feel for what it is like playing on stream by the first day, so we can take that and apply for second day. But that's kind of like it's kind of why I was a bit nervous for the first match that we played on stream, and it wasn't even against like like random people. Like those people were also like pretty good, the ones that we played first. Definitely. So it's not like we believe we're strong and everything, but just a bit nervous that what if we mess up and lose the first game and immediately the entire crowd is gonna be against us because that's not a surprise or anything. We're definitely the under. We're not the underdogs in that 100%. So
Crowd momentum is very much a real thing, especially at these events, because the
yes,
audience is very, very, very responsive
Yeah.
to pretty much any play that is, like, be it a multi-kill or just like some objective like cheese,
Or even just like falling off the map. You're
yes,
getting
like
the whole crowd
anything
at
you
you.
do, if they react, they saw it, and that's really good if you do something right. But if you do something wrong, it can get to you, or if you like you're in advantage and then the other team starts doing something right, and then you're kind of nervous because like, oh man, we might lose it, and then the crowd's also loud, so you can tell that they
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
That's an entirely different thing, and we didn't have that. They won't kind of just like, oh, play in the side room, and then it's easy like 3-0 3-0 3-0, and then so the pressure really like gets you when you're on stage and it's your first set on stage, and it's like, oh man, we kind of messed up, or like, oh geez, we wiped. Like
Mines
even
were
for
really, really shaky on our first match on the stage.
yeah, me
Like
too.
I was a little disappointed in myself too because I was like I thought I should be winning some of these fights, but my hands are shaking so much. I'm just like missing.
It's also it's very loud on stage. Like even though you have the headphones on, like the crowd is loud. Like for me, mechanically, I was kind of missing stuff or having sort of spaghetti aim. Even I think like 1 or 2 of the games I'm on T-Tech, like I think it was like an overtime, and I hit, like one of my strikes hits the wall, or I overshot one like past the tower. It's like, oh gee, I am so nervous right now because it's just you watch what you do, and you can just tell. But and again, in a sense, I'm kind of glad we sort of had that. I mean, it's day 2, so we're going to be on stream regardless, but I did rather that be our initial set on stream as opposed to winners finals, because then that's the mix of like, I'm nervous because I'm on stream, I'm nervous because our opponents are really good, I'm nervous because I don't want to mess up, I'm nervous because I don't want to let my team down. All of that can compound.
Yeah, absolutely. It could take over, and like I think, and that's the one thing about the venue is that's so different. Is it everything echoes. So like you had people like if you hear anything from like the stream side, you're hearing most of those echo through just because the way that stream room is built. So it doesn't help.
There's definitely a point in grands where it's before you start and you test everything, make sure your audio levels are good. You can hear your game audio, you can hear your teammates, they can hear you, all that. You test all that and you think it's good, and then the crowd gets loud, and then I felt the need personally to raise the volume on my Switch by like 2 or 3 taps because I could barely hear it, and I'm just like, all right, well, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's just so much louder. All right, so grand finals games are a lot closer than they were before. Why do you feel they were, right? So like like the way the matches went, obviously you 3-0 your ways all the way up until grands, and then it's a 2-3. What felt maybe like the difference there? What was kind of like this is different now?
Right.
Well, I definitely want to talk about this one.
Me too.
Like, like I washed hands beforehand, and like my hands were just cold still. And they switched up game one. I was confident, like, okay, Mako zones. Like, I like Mako because like how we beat them in winter was like Shadow Pencil is like he doesn't even play pencil for his team Moonlight. He's like different. So like his pencil, like I was just flanking him the whole time, like disrupting them. We had screen strikes, like they were getting displaced, Wiper like causing chaos, and then they switched to Zap. The Zap switch like caught like me off guard by like a whole lot. So like every time I went to go flank, there was like no pencil there to kill. It was like a bunch of paint now, and then like a Zap, something like pre-firing me, and like it was just bad. Like my hands were cold, and like every time I died, the crowd like exploded, and like I can't do this.
Yeah, that's happen to us now.
Yeah, no, the thing is, like, we basically, kind of got countered in a way. Like, we 3-0'd them in winners finals, and they were like, okay, yeah, sure, then we got this, everything. We kind of, not say that we got cocky, but, we basically got a lot, we stopped thinking too much about it. We went to go eat and, not worried about it. But I'm pretty sure they basically, just came up with another strategy to beat us for the most part, and we were just not, we did not take that into consideration. Shadow switched from Pencil to Zap, which basically meant that their entire playstyle was way more aggressive and fast-paced, and we weren't able to adapt to that, fast enough after the set, which is why we lost that first set. That's really the main reason. That, and also the fact that we have not played, since we, beat them.
Yeah, it was like an
This
hour
always happens
wait.
with the
Yeah.
Yes, it always happens in tournaments with the winner team.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's not okay. It actually like genuinely makes you play worse.
Yeah.
You're not warmed up.
It's really hard to stay warm. I think the counter comp was. I feel like we responded to it as best we could, as best we could have responded. I feel like after losing game one and giving our same strategy another try game two, we decided to um, counter by me switching off pencil for like the first time that during the tournament. Um, and I went over to try Nouveau as a cooler instead, to sort of counter their aggressive play style with basically our own aggressive play style in a way. The try for me like was instead of getting rushed super hard by all four of them at the same time on pencil, I was able to sort of be more mobile and fight up close, obviously a lot better. So I think that's what helped a little bit, and I think we used the data for that first set, like, because we wound up taking two games in the first set of grand finals, and after they reset, we we wound up 3-0ing afterwards. So I think we used that data that we collected from that first set pretty well, and applied it to the next one to get our win.
I think we definitely adapted in the first set, but it was kind of hard because within the second set, the first game takes us off guard. The second game, it's like, okay, let's try again, see if it's still the same kind of issues that we kind of felt game one. Because sometimes it is just like a one game thing. You don't want to like get too nervous just because you lost the first time. Sometimes the comp is fine. It's more just like a playstyle thing. But it felt like their idea was to kind of do what we were doing to them. And again, Thunder mentioned it, the mix of strikes and Wiper existing and screen kind of displace the team really, really, hard because they had a more standard looking comp with like pencil and aggressive weapons because like you have Max on Bucket, Nolan on 96. So if we can isolate them, which stuff like screen and strikes will do, because when you throw those kinds of things, it's like you either need to commit all the way or back up all the way. And the response you're going to get from Bucket 96 are probably going to commit all the way, but like Shadow and Tut, he's not going to run at us like ever. So, Shadow would sit back there, and then meanwhile the Wiper flanks for 52 flanks, and it's like, oh geez, now I'm alone because my front people decide to commit through the screen or through the strikes or whatever. It kind of felt like a lot of that, so I feel like they basically thought about that, and like Shadow's like, oh man, I'm getting flanked a lot. It's like, okay, what if we just kind of do that to them? And that's sort of what the first two games sort of felt like. I think game two was also kind of hard because we counterplayed Inkblot tower control because that went really, really well for us in scrims, but it was kind of sort of the same issue where it felt like they were like isolating us into taking like individual fights, which is kind of bad when you're fighting anchorless because a lot of them are able to sort of abuse that. If you catch the pencil by themselves in your own 52 bucket, that kind of thing, you can kind of get the kill, and that's a lot more snowbally than if we get a pick on them necessarily.
Yeah, I felt like I was definitely getting more targeted, and I
You're
think
definitely
that,
getting
like
targeted.
yeah, and it was pretty tough to, like, provide the support needed for the
Mhm.
rest of y'all. So I think it was good that we kind of ditched the pencil after that just to sort of respond to that. I was also, like, kind of nervous at that point because I was like, "Oh, shit, like, what's going on?" You know? "This is looking to be much more difficult than expected," you know, getting nervous, this and that, and I wasn't hitting things that I could have hit. Getting rushed was, even more detrimental because if I was, losing fights, pencil shouldn't be dying most of the time at all. I mean,
Yeah.
you wanna die less
Yeah.
than 3 times objectively. And yeah, if you're not painting, if you're not throwing down your coolers, then the the greater painting range of pencil, if you're not able to paint up for your teammates, then why are you playing the weapon that can paint that far anyway? Like
Yeah.
It's meant to paint safely. If you're getting picked a lot, then it's no longer safe because they're closing the gap too frequently for it to be comfortable.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
why
it definitely got scary.
it was
Mhm.
good that you had try as like a back pocket thing because now they're playing anchorless and now the entire lobby is pretty short range where the longest range like guns in the lobby are basically like 96, which is not long by the way.
Mhm.
So try's whole existence is basically being like, oh yeah, it's that weapon that you want to keep at like mid range or long range because if you get on top of it, like even if you think you play cry, you're still trading it. It's just that kind of weapon.
Mhm.
But I
Exactly.
think switching to that made it a lot more comfortable because then it became the kind of question of we did to them, make the pencil uncomfortable constantly. We did that well, and then they started making our pencil uncomfortable. So now it's just like, well, do you know how to
No
make
more
us
pencil.
uncomfortable when there's a try now? Like now all of us can just like fight if you're willing to take these fights, and if we team fight together better, then it'll go fine. Like we lost the first set, but we won game 3 and 4. So it was right there, and I feel like they were extremely nervous because of that. Because like, okay, our adaptation's working, we're 2-0, and then you lose the next 2 games. That's like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I thought try was like a throw pick for like the longest time. They'd be like, "Oh, I could play try," and I'm like, "No, edits,
because
pencil."
Yeah.
I
Anything that like paints more, gets cooler faster. Yeah.
Because if you're fighting pencil with 96, then yeah, try sounds pretty miserable. But the second they ditch the pencil, it's like 96 is hard, but they can't really run into you anymore.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the
If you
maps weren't even
sit
the
back and
worst
busy the
for it.
walls, like
Like stuff
yeah.
like Humpback, like Mako Mart, like there are some good try maps on that map
Mhm.
list.
Right, and I remember, Akeem,
I
when
mean,
you told me, like, just busy the walls, like, that was able to help more than, like, me trying to shoot a wall with pencil. I mean,
Yeah, because now
the
we're making
object
the
damage of
96
pencil is nothing
uncomfortable
good.
to like
Yeah,
commit.
yeah.
Because my fear, like before we even played them, like knew their comp and everything, because like I kind of assumed Shadow would cooler bot, but if hypothetically he didn't, then it would be like, what if they run like 1096? Because then it's like you have a fizzy, but now there's like a million things you need to shred. That was my fear. It never came to fruition, but that was sort of like my thought.
That makes sense, yeah.
But that never happened. But yeah, try ended up being like the pocket pick that kind of like saved the day when we are on the back foot because they were kind of like abusing pencil. So I'm glad that
Mhm.
happened. Because we
Yep.
definitely did not practice try like at all. There was no practice or
No, we
try
didn't.
whatsoever.
So try literally was like in the moment, like, hey, we've never played this. We're gonna go anyway though.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
like, logically it made sense, and Birch has played it so much 5-starring it. Like even I 5-starred it too, so like we both understand, like what its
Mhm.
role will be and what it feels like to sort of play
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, yeah, just send it. We're already my thought process, because Thunder doubted it a bit, and even I was like a little, was we're down 0-2. So at that
Mhm.
point, like if we lose, we lose. If we may as well get information and try the try, and if it works out, like keep going until it doesn't work anymore. But then it kept working.
Mhm.
We did lose game 5, but even after game 5, Thunder went 96, and you said you wish you went 52 instead, and I kind of agreed with that. And then we just sent that
Zosamami.
set 2, and from
Yeah.
that point, I think we were set.
Mhm.
I was skeptical
Right.
though about like when Keys was like, we can get information on them because like I always looked at bracket reset as like a like if you fail, then like okay, you have like a safety net. I never thought I just didn't want it to go to bracket reset at all.
Mhm.
That was like my goal. I just didn't want to fight them in another set because they might get momentum. But no, it was definitely necessary to
Yeah.
figure out well, like for try. Because then once we
I'm
went
glad
into
we all
like
made the call.
reset, obviously, yeah, needed that.
'Cause I love Try. Try was great. We won Gridlock, Henlo and I last year with a Try Nouveau comp. So
That is
felt good
true.
again. Yes.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that
I
does
think it's
not.
kind of the fun part, right? Or not the fun part, but I guess the safest part when it comes to being on the winner side of a bracket for a bracket reset is, you try that you have more time to try things, and you guys tried something after the first two games that was working really well in the first set, and it was kind of like from there on, it's like, okay, we lost like game 5, but it doesn't matter. Like we can do this.
I think they were more nervous than us going into the second set, just because they sort of had lost the momentum. Like, yeah, they won game 5, but it was so close that like we
Yeah.
reasonably could have taken it. And by that point, we already won the previous 2 games to try. So I'm just thinking like, no, we can just lock and try and like play cleaner and just win straight up. And that's sort of what happened.
Yeah, that kind of breaks into my next question, which was like, like it was kind of like a movie moment, like you're down and this is your chance to turn it around and you sweep 3-0. So I guess your turning point really was just during the first set, right? Just figuring out like, hey, tries to comp, we're just gonna counter their fast pace with our own.
Yep, exactly.
Another bigger thing was definitely me warming up. Like my hands were freezing like the first set as soon as we got on. Like, like I said, the crowd was like exploding after our loss, and then like I look over to my left after we lose like game 1 and 2, and they're just trash talking. I'm getting squid bagged in the game. And I'm just like, man, this is tragic.
Yeah.
But then but reset, like it was a lot. Like, okay, I'm warmed up. Like I'm used to the crowd. I'm like I was more used to it, and it just felt like better. Like it felt like we actually found the rhythm. Like Grants was like a fluke. It was wild.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about that trash talk, from the spectator perspective, it was pretty entertaining. I won't lie, even from the commentator stand, it was entertaining to see. How do you guys feel about it, right? I mean, I feel like it's rare to see. I feel like you see it once in a while at a LAN, right? Sometimes it's joking, sometimes it's like like on purpose for like friends, trash talking each other. But what would you guys feel about it? And I mean, well, obviously, what was the reaction to it?
It caught me off guard like crazy. Like it's not even like I had interactions with like everyone on the other team in Grands, and it's like none of them like that's like off brand. All of them, none of them are like trash talkers. I thought, or so I thought, until like I'm getting bagged and then like looking over, and you could like see them like yelling stuff over, and then I can't hear because like the crowd's like too busy cheering.
Yeah.
But it's like wow, like I didn't even think these people would like taunt or like trash talk or anything. Like we 3-0'd them in winners finals. Like we didn't bag, didn't like trash talk, didn't say a thing. And then we lose a game in Grands, and it's like, oh, so that's how it is.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because like the thing is, like Thunder started, like actually trash talking back. He stood up and basically was like, "Oh, what were you guys saying?" And like the thing is, I did not know that they had started it at first. I was like, "Okay, Thunder, let's not start this," because I kind of wanted, to avoid any trash talking. But then when he told me that they were the ones starting, I was like, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's just all, actually, just, get added up into it. It was really funny.
Yeah.
I have the opposite philosophy from Hello. I think the trash talk is fun. It fired me up. I think after we wound up winning the entire thing, I was pretty pumped.
I
So
was about to say the
I was
pop
like,
off was pretty great. I gotta say, it was a
yeah,
dope pop off you guys had, especially when they're just turning to them and be like, nah, where you at? This is it, 3-0. Go home. Bye bye.
yeah, exactly. My
Yeah, I
salute,
definitely
like,
boost you.
mm,
For me, it was kind of funny on both ends, both the physical and the sort of mental one, because in terms of the stage layout, they were on the left side of the stage, we were on the right side of the stage. I was the far right side of the
That's
right side of the
right.
stage. So like I'm not even looking at them, I'm not even paying attention. Like you two were talking about that, I'm just like, oh wait, really? Like I didn't even notice that. And it's funny to me because just like relationship wise with the other team, like Max is cool, but I haven't talked with him really. Shadow was my teammate for years, so like he's my dude. Nolan I've literally traveled with both days of the event, so I'm like, he's awesome. And then like Hutchie, I played with her last year, so in my mind I'm just like,
Yeah.
we 3-0'd them. Like I don't care what they say, like we're gonna win anyway. Like we have the ability. Like let's just win.
Yeah.
Cause like yeah, no, it's just that I was so confident. Just we had it, and then they adapted, and I'm like, oh okay, and then we won the 2 games, and then we kind of messed up game 5. I'm like, okay, well whatever, go next. Like we win this, and that's how it went.
Yeah, and that's my set to have. Right? No matter the loss, it's like, all right, whatever. Next game, I got you. Don't worry.
I'm very much the type of player. It's like when I mess up and I know I could do better, I don't really care. It's more just like, okay, that's on me. Like I'll do better, and if I don't, oh well, that's on me. But we did better, and I said, okay, let's do better, and we did. So that's how that happened.
you know, I'm definitely the type of player who's like, even if it's on like solo, like if I get bagged, like I'm gonna like get that guy and bag him back. But
Oh, me too.
but other times I'll get bagged and I'll be like, yeah, man, like they deserve it. I'm not gonna lie, I
Mhm.
whiffed. But like no, once they started like trash talking and bagging first, like yeah, no, I got into my element. I remember one game I went like 16-4, and I was just like yelling over at them like shoot back, like they're not hitting me. Just got into it. That made it fun.
No, I'm with you
It
on
became
that.
even more fun since we won.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely with
that's
you on
right.
that. So if someone destroys me, I'm like, okay, you got it. But at the same time, you know, I'm just like, I don't feel like I got destroyed. I feel like we could just do better. So I'm like, whatever. Let's keep
Mhm.
going.
And I think I don't know. I feel like the friendly competition was like heightened because it was like props to them for like the counter comp. It was a great idea. Like they did really well in the first set because they thought about winners finals. They thought about their games and thought about strategy. Um, but as soon as I heard from Thunder that there was trash talk going, I was like, okay, it's time to tap in. At the end of the day, they are our ops. That's but no, they're all great people. They're all very fun to talk to afterward and just beat as well. But you know, that's how it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, hey, you gave three of them, I believe their second place. You know, obviously half of Moonlight, second place after LTC. So that's two in a row for them. Hunty, that 2 years in a
yeah.
row, gave them second
Yeah.
place. It's kind of crazy.
It's so funny. It's I mean it's I remember she came up to Henlo and I afterward and she was like, I got second to you guys again. I was like, you know.
GG going next, okay? Better luck
Yeah,
next time.
exactly.
And it's kind of funny because I got second last year, so it was very much a story of like, it's like, do I get first place or do my friends get first place?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like someone's gonna walk away here being like, oh man, another silver, and that was either them or me. So
You know, locked it in. You weren't letting it happen at this time. No, that's a first place gold medal. And those medals are pretty cool, by the way. I think they were 3D printed.
I
Yeah,
like
they
them.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hanging on my wall right now.
I was about to say, do we have like special places we're putting them, or are they just kind of like hanging around?
I need to get a frame
Yeah.
for the poster, and then I'll put it on the frame. But
Oh,
I've
that's
yet to
smart.
get
Low-key
that
lost
frame.
mine. I have to go find it right now. Look, we go.
Why? Already?
There's so
Ooh.
Oh my god! Come
It's been
on.
like a week or two.
It's literally been
It's
like less
literally
than
been
2
a
weeks.
week.
Oh
been a
my
week, literally.
gosh.
No, but like I mean, I have a little place where I'm putting all of my medals and like attendee lanyards that I get from
Mhm.
Lance, and yeah, that's where it is right now. I really like it, honestly. I prefer it over the last year's, even though last year's was cute too.
What was last year's? Was it still like a medal or?
It was metal, but like it
Okay.
was okay. Hold on, let me just hold on. I have it right here. Let me just.
I think what I really like about the one from this year is that it's actually the Gridlock logo, which is sort of that little like squid, like octoling, like cross at the
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
crosswalk, and it's on the sort of like that super great topping. Like it's a really good logo, just straight up. So having it 3D printed and just a little like indent on the bottom that says like first place, second place. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so unique and like it's not like the others where it's like not even embroidered, so it's just kind of like lasered on to like a piece of metal, which I mean, still pretty cool, right? But like these are so much more unique now. It's really cool to have.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys do, if anything at all? What did you do to celebrate winning Gridlock this year?
And like the grands started at like a little past 8, and I had to be back like at home by like the next morning. Like literally had to be there because I went there with my mom and siblings,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother had to be somewhere at like 7 a.m. the next day or
Oh,
something. So we
dang.
had to like soon as we finished grands, like I did stick around to like talk to the other team and like talk to the people in the venue still, and land a bunch of posters and flyers and stuff. Like I signed a bunch of stuff, took some pictures as well. Made sure we got the pics to go for the Twitter, like all of that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I tried to get out of there as like soon, like kind of. I had to kind of leave as soon as possible, so we didn't like go out to celebrate that night.
Mm.
Came back. I've located the medal. I left it in my bag.
Bruh.
So
At least it was
anyway,
safe in a bag.
yeah. Yeah. It's located. Perfect.
For me, I had work the next day, but it was later in the afternoon and I was closing, so I kind of just slept in. I'm not like a super celebratory, person, I guess.
No, it's
I
fair,
don't go
yeah.
crazy or anything. I'm more just like content, like, oh man, cool, I got first at a land. Because I think the last time, I haven't been to a ton of S3 lands and I got second last year. So I think the last time I got like a first place land medal was probably like later Splatoon 2 at one of the New York events. And like that was a lot. Like this was really nice taking home first place for the first time. It felt like a while. And I guess for me,
I'm
on
gonna
like the
drive back
personal
though.
level,
I guess, man.
for me on like the personal level, I don't have a team or anything in this game, so it's like it's kind of annoying because I play the game a lot and I know I'm good at it. So it's like kind of satisfying getting that first place out of medal because I've never really grinded with a group before. It feels like a long time. So it's like, oh man, like I'm not terrible actually. I'm like decent at this game, even if I just like troll and solo queue and like stream like once a month and like play undercover and X rank.
You should play
like,
more.
no, I
with
can lock
Chuchu.
in.
You guys did really good against Healthy Fat Food Groups though, like with Chuchu.
Oh yeah. It kind of bonded cooler for that set. But yeah, that was
I
fun
saw
to
that
play
try.
on.
I saw that
Yeah.
try pick. That was nice.
Yeah, I got the 5-star try Nuvo too. New version of how to do it.
Oh, love it. Yep.
Definitely didn't want to lose because like I mean in general like I don't want to go to a land to lose. I want to
Yeah.
like who just wants to lose, right? You want to win.
Yeah.
But like also I knew I had that long drive back home. And if I like lost and had to stay on that drive home, I would have been like, oh, this sucks. But no, that drive back home, like the drive was split half and half, but like I was just texting on like Discord, Twitter, like messages. Like I had a lot of people texting me and it was real exciting. That was definitely one of the funnest like times too. Like everyone congratulating you and you're just like fresh off a win. Like it was a really good high.
For sure. Yeah.
It is nice kind of getting those DMs after playing grounds because
Yeah, same.
there's a point where you lock in and like at least for me I like kind of forget that we're streaming this and it's like I'm like too tapped into the game so then I like
No,
tap out like
yeah,
I'm like oh yeah
same.
all those people on the outside were watching.
Oh, there's an actual crowd to congratulate me in person now. Wait, this is weird.
Yeah, like I know the crowd in front of me, but I like forget about like everyone else who's like watching, be at the stream.
Oh
or, like,
yeah,
at
yeah,
home
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So the chat's going crazy, congratulating y'all
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I got a DM afterward, a few saying like, "Oh, we like." I guess it was about my pop off, and they were like, "Oh, you slayed them." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, I guess."
Bruh.
And all my friends know I was like playing like comp friends. Like I told them where the stream was gonna be at. Like I know my mom and siblings were watching the stream too. I had a lot of people watching the stream. I had a bunch of people cheering me on in the chat too. If you like looked up the Twitch chat, they were just like gassing me up the whole time. It was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, love the support. That's always the fun part, and that's like for like. Obviously, I'm nowhere near as good as y'all are, but like I love just spreading like the links around whenever I'm on stream because like you love to see it, right? The people support your team, especially because it helps build the crowds up. It's, of course, also helps the tournament itself get more viewership. But it's so nice to have so many people viewing, even if they don't know Splatoon. They still get to watch it and be like, I don't know what's happening, but I think they're winning.
Right.
So I gotta ask the big question. Would you guys come back next year if there's a Gridlock 2025?
Yes.
Yes.
Gotta reclaim the title 3 years in a row.
Would everyone even be playing the game still? Would Birch be
It
playing
really,
the game
I mean, I
still?
guess it depends because the thing is, we don't really know. Yeah, we don't know when this game is gonna, end and stuff. We don't know if
Yeah.
like Splatoon 4 is gonna be out by next year. We don't know if it's gonna end up being like
It's not
Splatoon
gonna
2
be out by
endgame.
next year, man.
We have
Maybe
like starting
not.
grad school, but I don't know.
Like,
I don't give a
I
shit.
don't know. Like, maybe I don't know. Because if it's like Splatoon 2 endgame meta, I'm not gonna like. I guess in the same spot, I'm like, cause
No,
the thing
shut
is,
up.
I
We're
actually
getting the
played.
hat trick. We're getting the hat trick. Come on. We're gonna get the three-peat.
God. Dude, I'm just saying if it's as bad as Splatoon 2 endgame meta was, like I don't know, cause I kind of we all play competitively, but we kind of have to have fun with the game in the first place. I
That's right.
probably still will, and I'm saying that I'm not saying that I won't, but yeah, just gotta make sure that happens, and then yeah, I will definitely be here.
I definitely agree. As someone who played pretty much through all of S2's lifespan, I will like die on the hill where I say like around like sort of like the 2018, 2019 era of Splatoon 2 was like sort of the best one, like Dually was really good, like Expo was really good. Basically before people started like unironically running quad shooter, I feel like that's when it got really unfun.
Yeah,
For me
yeah.
personally.
Same.
Like I played with Good Morning even toward the end, but like when I got to the point where I'm just like basically like every like scrim or tourney I play, it's like I'm playing Kansas Splatter Shot and Zap or Junior. I'm just like, those a breaking point where I'm like Soldier and Ed were just like being dumb and being like, oh, it's from Photo Squeezer, like K Junior, like who cares? Like it was actually at that point of just like, oh man, like we gotta find a way to make this fun. But yeah, in terms of the actual event, no, the event is great, and I don't see us going anywhere, and I'm like so close to the event anyway. So in terms of just like physically attending, yeah, no, I'll probably be there unless there's like some circumstance, which I kind of doubt, given for this event. I just told work, I'm like, hey, can I have that weekend off? And they said, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. And then, go out, we won. So why not?
That's awesome. So I heard 3. Thunder, what about you? Would you consider coming back to New York for Gridlock next year?
I definitely would. I know like probably next year is gonna be like as like the lands are growing, there's gonna be like a God Squad, like the Avengers pulling up. There was supposed to be a God Squad coming for this one, but like stuff happened. There's
Yeah.
supposed to be what Zero, Leafy, Q, and Max. They were supposed to play that this one. And I think FT might just pull up to the next one too. Like you never know what's gonna happen.
No, that's true. It's at a good time of year too. Like in the summertime, there's no school. Obviously there's work, right? But like for most people that are going like to college and stuff, like there's time off, so there's a lot more players available.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely enjoyed playing with this specific group of players, so I would be open.
Yeah, love to hear that.
Let's go. Bare minimum part 2. Gridlock 2025. Maybe it's in the books. Write the script. Write the script.
Stay tuned.
It wasn't brought up to my attention that you need a good team name to chant. So until like afterwards, Aether was like, he was struggling to come up with a chant for bare minimum, and I was like, oh, he's so right. We need a better name.
So I started cheering Saunders.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh
I think at some point though, people started cheering like just offense and defense, but I do remember the Sonder cheers.
I think some of those were like, I don't know, confused with like thunder chants. Like they sound similar, so I think people just hopped on that bandwagon.
I will say from the as someone who commentated Grands, there were a couple points where it was pure Thunder POV for the stream.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty there could have been some Thunder chants.
Misplays. I think I definitely heard the chants though after Onomami on the reset, because I know I opened up like really fast and I killed 2 like in like 10 seconds, and then there was a chant that started after that.
How did you guys even come up with the name Bare Minimum, by the way? Out of curiosity.
Oh, here we go.
Leave it to you.
Oh, I love this.
So basically, we had the group DM, the 4 of us, for quite a while there, and it was like, oh, okay, like someone should make the team on start.gg or whatever, and I said, oh, okay, I'll do it. I do it, and the days go by, and we're getting closer and closer to the deadline to actually sign up for the event, and each day I go to work and whatever, I'm just like, do you guys sign up yet? And you're like, no, I'll do it, I'll get to it. I guess to the point we're all signed up except Thunder, and it's like maybe like two-ish days, give or take, before the actual deadline. It's like, all right, you have to actually sign up. So finally, the Thunder signs up, and then I think I was at work. I think I was on break, and so I hit the group chat with the gif of the sped up clapping from the end of Evangelion, and the text on top of that just says in all lowercase bare minimum, because it's like, oh, congrats, we can play the game because you signed up for the tournament. Like absolute minimum that you need to do to play a tournament is in fact sign up for it. So it was kind of just like, okay, we need a name, and I guess that's where we ended up on that.
Because I was literally like the last one to do it, and I was like, wait, I'm just about to register now. And then Keen hit me with the gift.
Because he said he would do it. I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. And then he said, no, actually I have to do it tomorrow. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Hey, that's sometimes the best way names to come up with. Oh man. Okay, so this kind of happened today. So this wasn't written down because obviously I didn't know, but 20XX League. Who's
Oh my
playing?
god.
Who's playing? What's the thoughts? I
I
have
was
to
Wait,
about
what?
say,
ask.
what is
Did I miss?
20XX League?
There's a new league that was announced at the end of Super Jump right now for 20XX, and it's basically, you know, like kind of like, you guys remember Tassel?
Oh, I love Tassel.
Oh.
Kind of like that, but like, you know,
Oh.
it's 20XX, so it's gonna have like, you know, different TOs and different people behind it. But
Mhm.
it looks really good. I want to play it. Cena's team already qualified because they won it, so
Yep.
her team is just, you know, immediately available for it.
There is a qualifier, I
But
believe, August 3rd. I think it's a Saturday.
yes.
Ooh.
Yo, one of my best friends I definitely would have wanted to play it with already qualified for it. So
Oh yeah.
no
Nah.
one saw that one coming.
Chaos moment.
Yeah, it definitely was
I
a
don't even
shock throw out there for sure.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would want to play it because like it's definitely like a league thing. And I just don't want to be on the outside looking in like without playing any of the qualifier tournaments. So I definitely want to play. I just don't know who with who though.
I mean, that's valid. I mean, it's got I think it's like a starting price of like $450. So that's always
Yeah, it's quite a
cool.
lot.
It is a good amount to start with. And then obviously like the advertiser got a good map pool, production's gonna be pretty good. I think it's being streamed both across Dapple and IPL, so that's gonna be really
Oh,
cool.
Ooh,
wait.
that's cool actually.
So it's like I did play in TV. I don't know if any of you like saw that. Ooh,
The
no one remembers.
Invitational from like a million years ago.
Yes.
No, like it was like last year.
No?
It was early last year.
Oh.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, but that's what it means, I think.
Oh yeah, I came back. I think the name of this one was like MTV like Resurgence because they came back and everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So like the league thing was like pretty cool.
It was red.
Yeah,
Like
then the
their logo and everything
infamous
was red
third place.
now.
Yeah, then we had the infamous third place match. I don't know if anyone remembered that. We played Starburst, but like we just memed the whole time.
Oh, I
Everyone did.
remember
That's
now. I remember now.
crazy.
Back weapons. I remember. Oh my
We
god.
just trolled the whole set and like locked in for one game at the very end, and we lost.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that they have to like give you like some sort of, you know, like, I don't know, incentive for you to actually want to win the third place match, because, you know, if you're not gonna get first, like, you know, what's the point, right? I can understand it. It was funny, so like whatever.
It was funny for like the first few games. It did get dragged on.
No, yeah, because they're bad weapons and they kind of suck to play. Like someone would like, I think, big swig back, like that weapon's just awful to play.
It got buffed. You
It
never know.
got buffed.
Maybe you'll get another
Oh my
tiny buff next
god.
year.
I remember
Oh
Maybe.
yeah.
Gridlock at 2023. I think it was some pools match or something. I just remember everyone was playing Big Swig, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
dude.
Yes,
was
it
us.
was
That
It was
was
us.
us. That
squad
was
big
us.
swig
It was
match.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Who
was
did you do
us.
that
Like
against?
the
Didn't one
other
of you
team
pick
asked
back?
us.
I thought everyone was Rain because that weapon was new and someone picked back, if I remember.
I completely forgot. I
I
think it was
swear it
Scorch
was
Rainmaker?
Yeah, it was. I remember that, but I swear one person brought ink back, and I remember standing in the hallway looking at that and like said out loud, "Who brought ink back to an 8-roller lobby?"
Might have been me. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even remember.
I mean, we needed a one back for Rainmaker, obviously.
That's all you need.
No, because like like last year, like Cooler wasn't even like an actual thing that you ran. You
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I think, like it was by, you know, Burst ran it because it was trying, but it was us because it was main weapon, not because Cooler was, you know, the monster that we know from today. So
That's right, actually. Yeah. Didn't I played it for the main weapon and the fizzy. Honestly, the fizzy is what I mostly played it for back then, and what I played it for is, well, now, because even though it doesn't have the range of pencil, obviously, throwing two fizzy in LDE time is just ridiculous for a chip. Like I know the Rainmaker Humpback game. I keep bringing this up because it's just so funny. Like a triple with fizzies in like, but right before overtime started. It was a really close game too. I love the fizzy with that. Yeah, no, Cooler wasn't all that back then.
it really wasn't.
Yeah, now it's everywhere. Now you got it's do or die for Broly.
Yeah. So much so that if you don't run it, you're kind of throwing. It's
Yeah, no,
unfortunate.
for real. It's insane. Back then,
It's
even
tough.
like, before Kraken 2, those were the days.
Yeah.
I always mention it to people. I feel like it's not to the extremity of armor, because I really did truly believe in S2. If you were not playing armor, you were playing the game on like super hard mode. Like I think you can get away with no cooler in this game. I just think it's a matter of sort of risk reward. It just feels a lot scarier to play without one.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know, but I know in the recent. Oh, am I good? Okay. I know in the recent like message that the devs left in the recent patch, they said that they were gonna do like some nerfs or something in
Yeah,
the next.
it's gonna
So
prioritize
maybe
mainly
that'll involve
nerfs.
cooler or like pencil or something.
The dream. Everyone's
Yeah.
hoping
Yeah,
savior
Is there
for the end of this
cooler?
game.
I do want cooler to be good, but I think they could afford to undo the last like buff they gave it, where like special power like curves better, and I think they can
Mhm.
make the default duration last a little less time, like 2 seconds or whatever. I think would be fine, because I do think it's kind of dumb that you can kind of just run around with SPU cooler and like trade someone like 14 seconds in and still respond with your full special is a bit much to me. Because with a lot of specials, it's like, oh, like stall it out. You're not stalling 14 seconds in this game, like straight up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like that's too long.
I don't know. I feel like for cooler, I mean, I don't know, because it's really weird. I feel like as much as I don't like Respawn Punisher as an ability, I still think that it being, effective against cooler isn't actually, kind of counter to it if you play it properly. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I kind
Yeah.
of like it because like I feel like it's a way healthier crush than other specials like Splatoon 2 had. For example, like armor or missiles and
Yeah, I prefer
um
cooler because it's that you set it up and there's ways to punish it and just like pressure it, as opposed
yeah.
to S2 where I'm fighting a guy in a corner and their eyes like they get that like spiraling effect because someone's like AFK painting the corner on the other side of the map is like the most infuriating thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's just that, like, I don't know. We just need more cooler weapons to be good, and it's really not that far away because Dynamo's getting buffed. Dapple is on 160 for some reason for a cooler, which is
Wait, it's
stupid.
I
160?
think it's what I think
Wait,
it's
180, 180,
180.
180. My bad, my bad. It's
I thought it was
180.
Bro.
170.
Getting a heart
My bad.
attack
Oh,
out
Yeah, I
here.
remember.
No,
It's
yeah, I
very-
just I completely said that wrong. But no, like we should get Pestle nerf, honestly. If it gets like 220 or like even 230, like I feel like that can actually allow most other cooler weapons to be good, because that's kind of like what happens to Try right now. That's why we don't see Try as much, because it's 210 because of Cushion. So
I mentioned this to people. It's just there's so many specials in the game. The distribution's really poor. So when there's only so many coolers, and the last new like actual new cooler weapon was back in September last year. It's like, man,
Wait, really? Which
yeah,
one was
the
it?
the last cooler was heavy at a.
Oh
Oh
my god. Oh
yeah.
wow.
it's been a while, yeah.
It's been that long.
So for 3 seasons, we didn't get a new cooler weapon?
For two, because the
No.
spring and then the summer, but still, like
Well, what about the
been
winter?
almost a year. Been 10 months since they added a cooler, basically. And like heavy edit's a good weapon, don't get it twisted, but still, even heavy edit like got a buff after launch. It took a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I mean, it's like, man, I wish we had like a brush with cooler or like a Brella with cooler or something like that. But it just hasn't happened.
Indeed.
Wonder if they would drop. I don't know. Would they drop? Probably not. But would they drop any more kits? You think before the final goodbyes, before the final fest?
I think they drop it after, actually. My expectation is that the fest is the fest, and then maybe in like another 3 to 6 months, depending on how they feel, they drop more stuff. Because that's how it's kind of always been with Sheldon's Fix in 1 and Sheldon's Fix in 2, and then even like Cleared Apple and Camo Tent were the least expected things ever. Because I remember even, I played Splatoon 2 like religiously at that point. I'm like, okay, we're done with Weapons Finally, and then Nogami's like, oh yeah, by the way, 2 more. I wake up to a tent umbrella like number 3. I'm like, what?
If never
I
know.
just
After
don't
you
know
got
why
like
they're.
wall and
Sorry.
curling bomb rush. And you got like the, good kit or I don't know. I don't know if it was
meta for a good bit.
yeah.
I just don't know why they keep so much like secrecy regarding, if it's the final season or not and what they're gonna do with this game. Because like we know that Switch 2 is coming in less than a year, so like
think-
there's probably gonna be a new Splatoon game for that as well. So we don't really know how much time
I
this
think
game has.
Yeah.
I just love that Nintendo Direct here of like acting like they're done and being like, oh, by the way, one more thing. They never actually tell you until it's already hitting. instead of saying, oh, well, maybe drop more kits in like 6 months, like, no, they're just going to keep us in the dark until they just feel like it on some random Tuesday. I see
Yeah.
like a Sploosh 7 3D model rotating as I like wake up at like 7 a.m. looking at my phone, delirious. I'm still asleep.
You know, we could see
Yeah.
something because they did drop recently the AU qualifier, I think, right? So like an official Nintendo AU event, I
Mhm.
think. So for all we know, get another Worlds maybe next year, and then they'll drop like, hey, here's the coming back with the Kenza kits. For all we know, here's some Kenza weapons.
Right. Maybe they'll do like a different brand and a different theme or something. I don't even know like the new brands in this game. I haven't really paid attention to that enough.
Valid. All right. Well, for me anyway, that's all I personally really had question wise to ask you guys. So thank you guys so much for coming out. The floor is yours. Feel free to say whatever else you'd like. Shout out whatever else you'd like. This time is reserved for you guys to say what you'd like.
Ooh. You can find me at Twitter at CS_Thunder
Oh my
5.
god.
I do what? You said shout us
Shameless
names
plug.
out.
Yeah, you're
I
allowed to
do.
plug yourselves, plug whoever you want. By all means, feel free.
I do plan on playing at Riptide, so you should be tapped in
W.
for that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't have a fourth yet, but right now it's me, Goss, and Wave. We're running it back.
Oh, let's go. Let's be
Nice.
based.
That's gonna be fun to watch. I'm cheering you on.
Yeah.
Yep. That's probably gonna be my next tourney appearance.
Nice. Well, yeah. For me, not really much to say. I just wanna, if any Gridlock TOs, I know like Cactus, you have some stuff behind the scenes and stuff. I appreciate all the work that you did for the community. I appreciate how, being able to go to events like these, and I just, I know that it can be hard, but I just wanted everyone to know that I'm really grateful for all the work you put into it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
The TOs
yeah.
did a fantastic job over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, they locked in for it. It was goaded.
Yeah. I mean, like they were able to salvage the almost mishap I heard about on like the Saturday morning with
Oh,
some sort of like I don't know provider thing, but they were able to
yeah.
lock in and
Oh, yeah.
figure
The
that all out.
mainstream off by like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh my.
Yeah, something with the mainstream just wasn't like working out. I'm not sure they couldn't get to connect or what it was, but it was like an hour and a half delay, and then over time, it was like at max got down like a 20-minute delay off of schedule, which was crazy.
Yeah.
TO's locked in for sure.
Alrighty.
Who's next for the good old shout outs?
I'm gonna self-plug myself and say you should subscribe to me on YouTube at Keen's GM. I upload maybe once a month or something, and I'm trying to do it more frequently, but that varies depending on work. And I stream sometimes, but usually it's like once or twice a month, maybe. Follow me on Twitter as well. I don't know. I'm vibing. I do my thing. If you like that, that's cool. If not, that's also cool. I'm just here.
Yeah, same here. Follow me at birch_cat on Twitter. That's all I got.
Oh my god. You guys are crazy, but yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
crazy if I
Cactus.
start undercover.
That's really crazy.
That next ring got a million rage requests. They did that patch note that said remove the ability to send like block rage friend requests. That's for me.
That's crazy. For you specifically.
Yeah, no, like I 5-starred Thunder in X rank, and this was like after the initial slider buff where it did 70 damage, so it's not like day one tier bad, but it was like people send me requests all the time. But
John
I
will
didn't
change his in-game Switch name to like curse you out for using like 13 sliders on like
I-
zones.
yeah, basically. I didn't
Oh, dear
count, but
Lord.
it definitely was at least like probably in the realm of like at least 15 separate rage requests.
That's insane hater energy. Oh my gosh.
It is. It's really funny because I'm like, I also want to land and hit like 3k XP and like all this other stuff. It's like, oh, you stupid undercover ruining my games. You're so bad. It's just some actual like decent player just trolling for fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, if that is everyone, then that is gonna do it for this episode of the Cactus Patch. That was bare minimum your Gridlock 2024 Grand Champions I was your host, Glitch Cactus. You will also be able to see me at Riptide for my next LAN appearance. I'll be trying to pop off places as well as I can. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for watching, and for coming on out. We're going to send you guys over on to Splatoon Tourney. Still having some looty matches going on for the rest of the night, because as always, it is looty tonight. And we'll catch you guys for the next episode of the Cactus Patch.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching.
Later.
Yeah.